Hi guys, today I'm going to be making a steamed pudding actually, but I'm going to steam it in the slow cooker for about 5 hours. So it's going to be a steak, onion and mushroom pudding. I'm going to do enough to make 2 dishes, so I'm going to cook one today which will feed 2 people and put one in the freezer. So in my bowl, for the suet crust, you're going to need 350 grams of self-raising flour, 175 grams of beef suet, which is this. I would have it in the fridge before you use it. Some salt and pepper. I've added some dried parsley as well to mine. And you just need some cold water then to mix. So that's all I'm going to do now. Remember, you can always add some in, but you can't take it out. So even if it seems like it's taken a while to do, just persevere. And try not to use my hands as well until I have to, because that'll start to melt the suet. I think it's been about 5 years since we had these puddings. I've just bought some more of these, that's what I was missing. I did try the plastic ones, but I don't really rate them much. So I've just bought some more, bought 4 of those size and one a little bit smaller. My youngest child will probably eat this, because she does like dumplings and that, and it's similar to that, the pastry. But my oldest, not a chance. Speaking of which, there may not be as many videos in the next 7 to 10 days. I don't know yet. Just depends how poorly she is. But my 8-year-old got a positive PCR test yesterday. So, yeah, a bit fed up. She seems alright in herself. It's just that we've all now got to have a PCR test. And I can't believe, as well, that even though she's got a positive PCR test, I had to send her sister to school. Or I'm at risk of a fine. How ridiculous is that? I mean, she shares a bedroom with her, for God's sake. Guidelines now. You have to send them in. People from the house don't have to isolate, just the person that's infected. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, there's the pastry, as quick as that. I'm not a big fan of pastry, but this one, literally, as you saw, just took a few minutes. So, what I'm going to do is take 2 pieces off for the lids, and then split this one in half. These things, absolutely brilliant. All you need to do, even though it's got suet in the pastry, I would still spray your bowls. So you just want this really, it's nice and soft. Try not to touch it too much with your hands. Like I say, it will melt the suet. Obviously you've got to touch it to a certain extent. Need it big enough to go into this dish. And remember, suet pastry swells, so don't roll it too thick either. Right. What I'm going to do is let it just drop in. That's it, keep going. There. Completely in the bowl with an overhang for the lid. So that's the first one. Let's crack on with the second. Let's see if I can move this back a bit. So that's what you're after. Bit of an overhang. That's going to come off before you bake it up, panic. But lined, fully lined with an overhang to attach the lid on. Remember, not too thick. So let it drop in. You can push it up as such. This stuff is really easy to work with. There we go. As quick as that. This one has an overhang but not as much. But so long as there's enough there to pop the pastry on top, that's fine. Right. I'll be back with you. I'm just going to clean my hands. So, for the filling, you need, for both of these, 700 grams of diced beef, you need some well-seasoned plain flour because you're going to put your diced beef into that and coat it so that it thickens up the gravy inside. You want, I've got a medium onion chopped up, and I've also got a small leek chopped up in there as well. This is 250 grams of chestnut mushrooms. In here I've got 600 ml of cold water. I've put a stock cube in there, and I've also put about a teaspoon of just garlic puree in there. I've also put a tablespoon of Worcester sauce in there, or Worcestershire sauce, whichever you want to call it. So, all I'm going to do is sprinkle a bit of onion at the bottom, and I'm just going to layer what I've got. Some mushrooms. These are big pieces, and I'm really going to push them in there, because remember, this is going to feed 2 people, so you don't want a couple of pieces of meat in there. That's not going to be very good. This steak is not even fully defrosted yet, not that it matters. So what I've done is I've put a layer in each. Now I'm going to go back to the onion and the leek, chuck some more in, some more mushrooms, really push them down. and we'll go back again with the meat. Don't forget to season the flour as well that you're using to cover your meat. Also remember that whatever you don't use, don't chuck away. Use it in something else, in a casserole tomorrow or whatever, it don't really matter. I'm crushing this in and packing it in because, as everyone knows, when onions and that cook and meat cooks, it shrinks down. So you don't want to have a big gap at the top when you cut into your pie and there's nothing there. So I'm just going to add some more onions. So you want this to have a dome before you start to cook it. Hands are all covered now. So this water that's just got the stock and that in, you're just going to slowly pour it in. And it just needs to come up. That found a mushroom to slide off of. It needs to come up to nearly the rim of the bowl. Just give it a few minutes to soak in. Because it will go down again. So I'll give that a minute, just while I cover the rest of this beef. Yeah, I can see where it is. Run away. Don't worry about losing a couple of bits of meat or whatever, if you soon pop them back on. I'm just going to chuck on what I can, and whatever don't fall off, great. 1 second, guys. So, at the bottom of here, there's a bit of stock cube, so I'll just spread that. Because it's cold water, I knew it wasn't going to fully dissolve. I think that's that one. Yeah. So that's enough of that. Now all you've got to do is create the top for them. I'm just clearing the way here. So we'll take one of these that we separated out earlier. Just give it a roll. And trying to roll and constantly make sure that you can see what I'm rolling. Difficult in a small space. Right, so I'm going to push everything in and make sure that the edge here is exposed. It's already damp. What we're going to do is just plonk that lid over. Just use your hands and press it into the side of the dish. And then all I'm going to do is underneath the lip of this, just a sec, take it off and then I can show you. So these dishes have a lip. These are Mason and Cash ones. They are a good investment. I should have just looked after mine the first time round. So all I've done is there's an actual lip on the bowl, is just tucked it under there, and that's it. This will shrink down, obviously, because the insides of this are going to shrink. I've popped one into the freezer, I've double wrapped it, I've put some foil over it and then wrapped it in cling film. This one now, before it goes into the slow cooker, what I'm going to do is make sure that when I pull the foil up, it's like a tent, so it's got room to expand. Even though the dough does expand, when you bring it out of the slow cooker, it will be level with the actual dish, strangely enough. That's because everything inside will cook and it will condense down, sort of thing. So I'm going to go with another piece of foil. This is just to make sure that it doesn't get wet, you see. And you can use butcher's twine, you know, just to tie around the sides, and so you can lift it out. So you just tie a knot around the sides and then thread some more through and loop it up at the top. You can look on YouTube to see how that's done. But all I do, as you can see here, is grab a load of cling film and bunch it up and tie it around it. Now I'm aiming to, I bunched it up, I'm aiming for underneath that lip that I was talking about a minute ago, and then I'm just going to tie it. Right guys, so in the bottom of your slow cooker, put a small plate that your dish can sit on. You want to cook it on high for 2 hours and low for 2 hours, and that should do it. Right, so the steamed pudding was in on high for 2 hours and then on low for another 2 hours. I took that out and it is here, still hot. In this pan I've got some curly kale, some white cabbage and some carrots there, and in the air fryer to go with this I've got some sliced potatoes. So this is just about ready actually, and I'll show you what it looks like dished up. Or I'll show you what the pie looks like when it comes out. Right guys, I've just turned it out and it come out in one piece. It come out in one piece, what can I say? Look at that. Toasty. And you can you see the steam coming off it? I don't know if you can, but oh, the smell. There it is, ready to be ruined by chopping it in half, but just wanted to prove it came out in one piece. Right guys, so this is it dished up. There's the pie chopped in half. You can see the inside of it there. That we had some crispy sliced potatoes and some carrots and some curly kale. Now don't that look good? Give it a try, let me know how you get on. Thanks a lot guys, so don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know what you think down below. Bye.